Do you think maybe he and Primo might have the same therapist? Maybe.
That would make Deshaun Watson happy.
It would. Everybody needs a good shade tree.
Wow.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is The Unrestricted with Vex, the Bulldog, and Bob, the Audio Dissimulator.
A special episode of The Unrestricted.
It is a special episode. It is Wing It Wednesday because our skipper, our capo, is not here.
I think he was celebrating the fact that we turned 21 last week.
21 episodes,
21
which was
episodes.
A huge milestone.
Yeah, and then he went and got, what was it? It's that C word.
It was a C537 Fusion.
Yeah, he's still not going to pass as good as Peyton Manning.
No, he's not. But the interesting news is when they put him under and they were checking his vitals, they found a rabid case of chlamydia. So he's on all kinds of meds right now.
Yeah, and I went by his house because I know he's not able to drive with the chlamydia medicine. So I tried to pick him up, and this is what happened at the door.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't come to the door right now. I'm afraid that in my weakened condition, I could take a nasty spill down the stairs. You can reach my parents at their places of business. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate your concern for my well-being.
So that was Jeff this morning.
Yeah, he's playing hooky.
Yeah, though I think we're gonna try to get him in. Though I think his vocal cords are having issues,
Which is a blessing and a curse. It's a curse because we, for all intents and purposes, don't have a show anymore. But it's a blessing for his wife because for at least a week, he can't talk. So it's going to be her happiest week of marriage to Jeff. But we wish him a speedy recovery. We hope that chlamydia clears up and that his neck will be able to support that huge, huge head of his full of useless knowledge.
Yeah, there we go. I'm going to call him in a little bit later. We'll see how he's doing. If he's doing any better than earlier.
Yeah, give him a call. See if he can't moan a little bit on the line for us. All right, so we had a big week of sports, Bob.
Yes, we did.
I don't know if you're familiar with the San Antonio trifecta.
I was not familiar with it until you started on a text chain about it this weekend.
All right, so the San Antonio trifecta is when the Spurs, the Longhorns, and the Cowboys all lose in one weekend. It's a thing. It's happened before. And unfortunately, when that does happen, we've got a friend down at the San Antonio Police Department. Now, granted, she does fingerprinting, but she has her fingers on the pulse.
So a reliable source.
A real reliable source that when the trifecta does occur, domestic violence goes up 42.7% in our city.
Disclaimer, we do not condone domestic violence. We just make jokes about it.
That's correct.
Okay.
So the trifecta almost happened, but the Spurs won Friday. Longhorns lose. Cowboys lose. But Monday, Tuesday, Spurs lose. So there's good news, bad news.
Well, I wanted to bring the Texans into this because the Texans lost on Sunday.
Yeah, but east of I-10 and 280 and 1604, no one cares. For all intents and purposes, the Texans are in the Rocks XFL Football League.
Okay.
Sorry, Houstonites. That's just how we feel here in the Bexar County.
Yeah, when has that team been relevant?
It's been a while. Even their uniforms, they look like their XFL uniforms.
Yeah.
They could have done a lot better than the Texans.
Though the old team in Houston seems to be doing pretty okay in Tennessee.
Yeah. They're doing just fine.
Good for them. But the Cowboys, this is the part that I didn't understand from this weekend. Texas was a touchdown favorite, which I didn't understand, other than the fact that they were home. And then the Cowboys were, 5-6 point favorites over the Packers?
Yep.
And they both lose.
Yep.
Texas didn't lose close. At least Dallas lost kind of close, sort of, though they gave up a 14-point lead.
Yeah. There's a lot to unpack there. But so here's my take on Texas. Quinn, yours, he ain't the guy. He has flashes of brilliance. He's got a great arm. His decision making is and that great arm tends to overthrow receivers all the time. So he's going to have a season where he can prove it. Then they're bringing in the savior, Arch Manning, and Arch will start, if not the first game, the first 2 or 3 games. And Quinn will have to transfer, and he'll play at Toledo or Marshall. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it'll be good for selling tickets. I think everyone will get excited. We'll see if he can play game 1 and be effective.
Yeah, I think he will be. He's going to graduate early. He's not going to play basketball in the winter. He's going to learn the system, and he's got DNA working for him. There's some pretty good genes.
He's the son of the
Cooper,
who's really good in that BetMGM commercial, though.
He's
the
funny.
Caesars.
Like, they're all funny. When I'm watching a Monday night game, 9 times out of 10, it's Manning cast.
Back to the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell happened?
You're up by 14 going into the fourth quarter. You think that you can run the ball, clock management, and squeak out a win. That did not happen. And the elephant in the room is their run defense is garbage. The playbook on beating the Cowboys should be their offensive playbook, but the other team uses that, run the ball, game management. Cowboys are 29th in yards allowed rushing.
Wow.
That's not going to win you too much.
I thought it was a good defense. That's what all my Cowboys homers keep on telling me.
They can rush the quarterback, but if they're not throwing the ball.
That was very interesting from the Packers side.
Right.
How much Rodgers did not throw the ball.
And that's and I'm telling you, look at all the games. So what happens when you're throwing it 40 times? Interceptions, right?
Interceptions.
What happened? Yeah.
Yeah, a la Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, Dacky, interceptions. All those interceptions you threw led to points.
Yeah.
It all goes back to the basics. It's ball control. Can you run the ball, control the trenches? And the Cowboys cannot control the trenches on the defensive line.
Well, I find it interesting on this week. Everyone is looking at this game as, did the Packers turn it around? And I'm like, the Packers beat a Cowboys team that basically gave that game away, in my mind.
Right.
4th and 3 for a 50-some-odd yard field goal to put points on the board, and you go for it?
I think that McCarthy was coming home and he wanted to prove to everybody that he's a gunslinger and he's going to go against the grain and he's going to show everybody that he's ballsy, and it bit him in the ass.
And after everything we said with Cooper Rush and Dak coming back, and then all the talking heads on ESPN picked us up. They weren't first. We were first.
That's right.
And said that the Cowboys need to run first and then pass second. And they didn't do it. And now all the pundits are going back to, why aren't they running the ball more?
And I don't know if you saw this, the Cooper Rush Dak debate is back open, full on. It just needs the game plan is the same game plan that we lined out in week 3 when we said when Dak does come back, game manager.
Yeah.
Run the ball. Good news, I think Zeke's going to be back.
That, I think, for me, that was the difference this past weekend.
Yeah.
Zeke not playing.
Yeah.
They couldn't get a decent run offense. And again, to go back to McCarthy and Moore, and what the F are you doing? Or in the words of Ryan Reynolds, what the shit? You have a 14-point lead and you're putting the ball in the air and you're not just handing it off.
Right.
Did you get play calling from Shanahan from the Falcons a bunch of years ago?
It didn't make any sense. Obviously, they don't think much of their second-string running back. But that last drive, he had some really good runs. The kid from Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember his name. I don't know. They've got some soul-searching to do. Now, here's something funny. A good friend of mine, Matt, said, Ndamukong Suh's sitting at home. What can he do? Well, he can clog the middle. We brought in the guy from Las Vegas, and he got his ass handed to him this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get some big bodies in the middle.
Yeah, and we talked last week about the prospect of OBJ, and I wasn't all that hot on it.
Are you hot on it now?
No, I'm not.
Why?
OBJ sits on the shelf. Jerry Jones kind of put it really succinctly. He's like, you have that much talent and you're sitting on the shelf. Nobody's picking you up. What's up?
So he said that,
Yeah.
but he wants him.
Of course he wants him.
Yeah.
If I was a Cowboys fan, I'll say this again. I would not want him on my team.
Well, he's suing Nike for $20 million. And he's asking for $20 million for the rest of the season. Coincidence?
Why are you suing people? If there's one thing that pisses off owners and front office, it's money.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want. To bring up domestic violence again, you can beat up your wife. You can expose yourself to therapists multiple times. He's coming back in a couple of weeks. You can have a DUI. You can do whatever you want, but don't cost me money or attention. Colin Kaepernick, you're going to sue one of NFL's biggest sponsors?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
if you affect the bottom line.
Yeah, if you affect the bottom line, you're going to get blackballed. So don't do that shit.
Yeah.
The NFL will excuse anything. A la Dan Snyder has been excused everything except the fact that he's keeping money from the rest of the owners.
That's the holiest of holies. Don't jack with the owner's money.
Nope. So I'll make the call here. OBJ does not play it down in the NFL this season.
You're calling it?
I'm going to call it.
I'm still saying that he comes on. I'm still saying that he's a Dallas Cowboy by Thanksgiving, and that is a week from tomorrow.
Okay. And that would make me happy because I think it'll be like a little bit of a hand grenade in that locker room and in that team.
Okay. Well, we'll see. All right, so we're talking about making you happy. Let's talk about your 49ers.
Yay!
What did you see this weekend that wowed you? Yeah, that's a nice keychain. Said no one ever.
Yeah, for those that are watching us on Channel 6 locally, yeah, this is a 49ers keychain.
The Ocho.
Yeah. I was happy we got the win. It was an ugly win. I'll be honest with you. It was an ugly win. You don't get first and goal a couple times and don't put it in the end zone and make me really happy. We did get the win. They're still trying to figure things out. But we got the win.
I've got a very interesting stat.
What's your stat?
It's on your quarterback, Jimmy G.
Jimmy G. I like Jimmy G.
He's got a record that is...
Does he have a record?
It's the best record of any quarterback since 1950.
I like that. I like stats like that.
Yeah.
What's more? Give me more.
So Jimmy is 10-2. That's 10 wins, 2 defeats when he does not throw a touchdown pass. Zero touchdown passes, 10-2.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
You know what? I am too.
Yeah.
Because he's winning.
You play to win the game.
Well, and Jimmy G doesn't buy into his own BS. I think he's got it figured out. A guy that's that attractive, but he knows, hey, I don't have to be a hero. He limits his exposure. He limits his fuck-ups. The best way to not throw an interception is to not throw it.
241 yards per game.
That's decent.
11 touchdowns on 4 interceptions. That's his stat line.
That's a winning recipe.
That is a winning recipe, especially when you have Debo, Christian, and Kittle.
Right. And Ayuk is playing out of his fucking mind right now.
Yeah, and Mitchell.
They've got weapons.
Yes,
and Bosa looked like he's close to being back.
Yeah.
He's got the twitch again. He's borderline unblockable. All right, so we talk about Jimmy G being the consummate game manager. How much is Jimmy G making this year?
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy is $27.5 million. We got a segment
Are you
called Dealing or Stealing that we've discussed. And that's another thing. When I believe it or not did some research, every site's different. Every site, because they don't all factor in cash. They don't factor in this one's from USA Today.
Yeah.
2022. It says the highest paid quarterback is $50.3 million. That's Aaron Rodgers.
Well, I'm looking at Spot Track. Wow, this is great radio as we're arguing about stat sources.
Yep.
Spot Track has the 2022 quarterback cash as Matt Stafford, 61.5.
Okay, stealing. He's absolutely stealing. LA's flushing that money down the toilet.
On this list, you know who's number 2?
Who dat?
Russell Wilson.
Stealing. All right, who's 3?
Josh Allen.
I think he's earning. He's dealing. Yeah, he's worth it.
Number 4, we've already talked about him.
What do we got?
Deshaun Watson.
Woo.
45.4.
For sitting at home and
And-
dodging telephone calls.
Well, no. He's dodging telephone calls and he's attending therapy. We hope.
Yeah. Lots of therapy. Do you think maybe he and Primo might have the same therapist? Maybe.
That would make Deshaun Watson happy.
It would. Everybody needs a good shade tree.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to call him the end of the toilet flush.
Mm-hmm.
Next on the list, Aaron.
He's stealing this year.
Yeah, that's my thoughts on Aaron. I used to like Aaron Rodgers.
That's before he started talking.
Talking.
Yeah. when he would just play football, he was great.
What is it about quarterbacks and beards in Green Bay?
Well, he's that chip on his shoulder is bigger than his head, and it's he doesn't have anything to prove. I think they asked him, they were fucking with him, and he said, "Hey, excuse me, who's been the MVP of the league the last 2 years?" And he's right, but it's such a better flex if you don't have to say it.
Hey, we have a phone call coming in right now, and Jeff wants to get on the conversation. So Jeff, here, what are your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers and whether he's a steal or a deal?
Oh man,
Wow, that's gender assignment surgery gone really bad.
man.
If I was
they-
his wife, I'd hate that.
Hopefully they got a lot of duct tape in the Vex-less household.
Wow. Next on our list, Kirk Cousins,
How much?
40.
Boy, I want to say stealing, but look what he did. And no one's talking. Well, a lot of people are talking about. That's the game of the year. Now it could have not been the game of the year without all the fuck ups.
Oh my God!
But the fuck ups made it. That fumble in the end zone. Come on now. What's going on there?
It was a great game to watch.
It was a great game to watch. The best receiver in the NFL is Jefferson.
Oh, that catch.
That guy. Imagine if you could get that LSU team back together. They'd give the Miami Dolphins of the 70s a run for an undefeated season.
Yeah.
Other end of the spectrum, who's not stealing and who's dealing? Joe Burrow. How much are they paying that guy?
Joe Burrow right now on this list. Wow, I'm going. Where?
It's at the bottom.
Where?
Name the bottom 5.
Well, hold on a second. I can't even find him on this list.
Yeah. Travesty.
3.9.
Cincinnati is stealing.
He's making slightly more than Colt McCoy.
Oh boy. And I love me some Colt McCoy.
But not as much as Daniel Jones.
Well, at this point I think that's justified.
This is the amazing thing about the economics of the NFL for me and rookie contracts. You get such a steal on these guys.
Okay, the biggest steal though before they capped it, look up how much money Sam Bradford made in his NFL career and it'll make your stomach hurt.
Holy motherfucker.
Told you. Say it out.
$130 million.
Sam fucking Bradford. What's his record?
34, 48, and 1.
That'll get you $130 million. Now he's laughing right now.
Oh, yeah.
He's laughing.
Oh, yeah.
He might be one of our 200 followers. Laughing.
Wow.
Is that not a travesty?
That is an absolute travesty.
Yeah.
His stat line 7-9, 1-9, 7-8-1, 3-4, 7-7, 7-8, 2-0, and 0-3 in his last season with the Cardinals.
So he played 5 seasons?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 total.
Wow.
He passed for 62.5% pass completion. That's not bad.
It's not good.
6.6 yards per attempt, 103 touchdowns on 61 interceptions. I'll take that money.
Yeah.
And do poorly in the NFL, because I would do poorly in the NFL.
Yeah. It's pretty remarkable, some of the guys that they pay. And then you got guys like Geno, feel-good story of the year. What's Geno making this year?
Geno Smith, $3.5 million.
Yep.
He's tied with Flacco and Case Keenum.
Yep. Conversely, what is Chunky Russell making? You just saw something.
Oh my God. Geno Smith makes more money, according to this ranking, and I know that the rankings are all over the place, but on this website, we're going to make this the website of justice. He makes more money than Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
$3.36 million for Tuanon. That's a conspiracy.
It is. They're always trying to keep the Hawaiian down.
If I'm the owner of the Dolphins, because he's your MVP this season so far.
So far. It helps when you've got Tyreek, though.
Yeah, I mean, and after Kirk Cousins, we have Kyler Murray, Tom Brady. Kyler Murray not doing all that well. Tom Brady's just being Tom Brady. Patrick Mahomes, Ryan Tannehill.
Stealing.
Oh.
Stealing.
Yeah, right underneath him, also stealing, Carson Wentz.
Oh, he can't even get on the field. And I read this morning that he may be healthy enough to play, but why would they put him in?
God, Carson Wentz,
And
Jared
a big
Goff.
thank you to Washington for beating Philly.
Go Manders.
Yeah.
And it didn't look close.
Mm-mm.
What did they do that nobody else has figured out?
Well, and we've talked about this. Whenever you've got division rivals playing,
Mm-hmm.
you can throw all that bullshit out the window. They know each other and they hate each other. So they're going to play hard. And
That's why I think 11 points in a divisional game is absolute horseshit.
yeah, if you ever see that, jump on that. Because you're not going to cover. Even when the Cowboys played like shit in Philadelphia, beat them, they were right there.
Yeah.
They were coming back. All right, looking forward, we had to talk contenders, pretenders. I think the contenders are still the same. I never put the Cowboys up in the top tier. They're going to have to regroup. They're going to have to learn how to tackle. But they still have a chance.
Of course they have a chance. They're sitting in the best division in the NFC. They have a better record than the division leaders in the NFC South, which are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
So they're going to get a wild card, but that wild card's no one wants that wild card seat.
And we'll see what the rest of the season holds out for the Eagles and whether the Eagles start to slide.
Yeah.
I don't think they will, but who knows?
It all got that Christmas Eve game is huge.
Mm-hmm.
It's must watch.
It looks like the Vikings will make it in.
The Vikings are on a roll.
Yeah, and I don't think the Packers are on a roll. I think that
Well,
was a
and that's a
fluke.
good game. We got the boys and the Vikings this at 3:25
Mhm.
on Sunday. Is it Jeff or is it Macho?
No, that's Jeff wanting to welcome in Macho. And
Oh,
yeah, it's Jeff translation. Welcome the Macho Man.
oh yeah! Finally, we got that little cocksucker off the air, huh? What happened? Where's Jeff?
It's an injury we're not talking about.
Oh,
A disease we're not talking about, though I think you may be familiar with it.
what? I'm guessing it's something to do with his sexual preference.
His sexual preference, his sexual parts,
God
Yeah.
bless him.
his bathing suit area.
Yeah. I told him to get off Pornhub. Leads enough but trouble.
So how'd you feel about your picks last weekend, Macho?
Like I said, I'm always looking forward, never looking back. I think I did decent. Did I do decent?
I think you did okay. Did you pick that Commanders Eagles game?
I don't think it was on the docket, but I did not see that coming. Glad it happened, but I didn't see it coming.
I thought the Manders were going to cover. I just didn't think they were going to win.
Nah, I don't think anybody did. That's why they play the game, Bob. That's why they play the game.
Is that why they play the game?
That and they get paid millions of dollars to play the game.
Okay, I'm going down the list here. I don't see many really good games, so I'm going to go to the Sunday night game. Chiefs on the road at the Chargers.
Ooh, what's the line?
Line is Chiefs by 6.5. The Chargers looked pretty good last week.
They did. And I talked shit about them.
Yes, you did.
And I felt moderately bad, but not too bad. I got good sleep. They're better. They're better than I thought. I still think Chiefs cover.
It's a divisional game, 6.5.
Divisional game, but that it's a West Coast division. I don't think it means as much. You know, they're all sliding in the Pacific Ocean. You know, the fault line's going to be Nevada, oceanfront property, Las Vegas.
Okay, then we're going Cowboys at the Vikings. Dallas on the road. I don't get this line. I really, really don't get this line after what the Cowboys did this past weekend.
The Cowboys,
Or the Cowboys are favored by 1, which surprises me.
Yeah, I don't like that. You know I love my Cowboys.
But
I want some points. Vikings look good, man. Kirk Cousin all iced out with his shirt off. All his teammates laughing at him. I want the Cowboys to win. I think they can win, but I don't know. If I was a betting man, hate to say it, but high skull, take them Vikes with a point at home.
I'm with you on that one. I don't see this being a good game for the Cowboys, but maybe they bounce back and give the Vikings a loss. I don't think this is a must-win for the Vikings, honestly, in that division. It's a must-win for the Cowboys. Every game for the rest of the season for the Cowboys is a must-win.
Every game?
Every game.
So they got to win out.
They don't have to win out, but if they want to have a nice ride into the playoffs, it's a win out. It's a tough division. Best division in football.
Yeah, but I like our chances when we're playing against our NFC North or whatever the fuck we're in.
The East?
The East. See, that never made sense to me.
That the Cowboys are in the East?
Yeah. Maybe we talk about that, pontificate on that. But yeah.
Wait. I think Jeff wants to talk about the NFC East.
He sounds better.
That's a really good point.
He sounds better. His points are coming across a lot clearer.
Macho Man never disappoints.
And his picks are... or at least they're entertaining.
They are entertaining. He's an entertaining dude. Quickly, we didn't talk about the Spurs other than they lost 2 in a row, but
which is what we want them to do.
That's what we want them to do. They are currently in 13th place in the West. We need to
Yes, they're 2 from the bottom.
It's a good place to stay.
They're 3 games ahead of the LA Lakers and 4 games ahead of the Houston Rockets.
Which everyone knew that Houston is not getting it together, super talented, but they don't know how to win. I don't know if anybody knew that the Lakers are going to be as bad as they are. Is it funny? Sure. But I'm of the contingency that if the Lakers are good, basketball's better.
It's more interesting. I think it's more on the consciousness of the casual sports fan.
Right. More eyes to the sets. But the Spurs are in 13th. They need to stay there. I'd like to see them get to the 14th.
Well, there's five teams below them.
Okay, it's a good spot. It's a good perch.
You have the Orlando Magic, the Charlotte Hornets, and Detroit Pistons on the eastern side that have worse records than they do.
The Pistons are hot garbage. Orlando should be better. But it's a good stat line when Pirtle is our leading scorer. He scored 31 the other night. And that's good for the Spurs.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we covered everything. All seriousness, we missed the skip.
We do miss the skip.
Barring any complications, he'll be back next week. And thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. We appreciate you.
Yeah, like, subscribe, review. If you just picked up our podcast recently, and there's a few of you out there that have, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. We would love to see what your thoughts are.
Unless it's scathing and ugly, then you can go.
Then it's the Bill Simmons podcast you want to leave a review on.
Yeah, you can go fuck yourself.
Absolutely.
How y'all feel out there? Do you feel good? I said, do you feel good? Come on. The groove feel good when it make you move. Make your next move your best move.